Chen Xian has been practicing Dragon God Kung Fu with his masters in the village since he was a child. At the age of 18, he was pulled into the hot spring by his second master using a small whip. You'll be going to college in the city soon. His cultivation progress has been slow. How can I feel at ease? Chen Xian, who was beaten and bruised, felt wronged. Master, I'm going to school, not to fight, and I haven't made progress for so long. Maybe there's something wrong with the cultivation method. The second master seemed angry and got close. Are you saying there's a problem with what I and the first master taught you? Chen Xian quickly shook his head. No, that's not what I meant. The two masters have watched me grow up since I was a child. I love you both the most. How could I possibly question you? The second master seemed to calm down, but put her hand on Chen Xian's shoulder and whispered to him that there was a special method to break through Dragon God Kung Fu. Chen Xian listened with his mouth watering. Is it about practicing with a young lady? The master's hand swiftly went under the water. You filthy boy, what a beautiful thought. The next second, Chen Xian screamed like a pig being slaughtered. This was the master's most terrifying eagle catching the chicken technique. He had suffered from it countless times since he was a child. With tears in his eyes, he looked to the first master for help, but she just sat by the water with a calm expression. What are you yelling for? Your second master won't really hurt you. Watching the two frolic in the hot spring, the first master sighed. With your skills, you won't be bullied. Besides, the ninth master will be looking out for you. Upon hearing this, Chen Xian's eyes lit up. He had been instilled with the idea that his 9 masters would become his future wives. They were all stunning beauties in the world, and the ninth master, who had ventured into the business world, had built a billion-dollar fortune. This time when he went to college, he would surely be able to live off her wealth. Not only that, but the first senior sister added, well, your 9-turning Dragon God Kung Fu has not awakened through yet. If you encounter any trouble, the Gao family should be able to help you out. I saved the head of that family back then, and he repeatedly asked for a marriage contract. If the Gao family's daughter is still good, you should not let her down. Chen Xian was extremely excited. Marriage? Oh my god, I'm going to have more wives, so if I go to the Dongling, I can have a wife and children. The second master, however, wasn't anxious at all. Instead, she smirked and said, do you want to know how to break through? First tell me, if you had to choose between me and your eldest sister as a wife, who would you pick? Chen Xian was petrified on the spot. This was a life-threatening question. The second master began counting down with her 5 fingers and pulled out a high-temperature thunderbolt bomb. Knowing he couldn't escape, Chen Xian could only give everyone a piece of advice. Kids, don't mess with women. Remember that? The next morning, Chen Xian put on new clothes and looked at the distant village with a bit of melancholy. However, when he thinks of the girls in the city, his whole being becomes excited. The two masters' wives stand under the tree, watching Chen Xian leave from afar. Boss, aren't you going to see him off? The elder master's wife flicks her hair, her eyes full of determination. She firmly believes Chen Xian will become the person she expects him to be. She then turns and leaves first because she has more important things to do. Chen Xian takes the train to leave the village, heading to Dongling University. As he daydreams about his bright future, a beautiful girl with pink bubbles shimmering all over her body passes by his side. It's like his thoughts have become reality. These pink, plump lips must taste like strawberries. At this moment, the girl suddenly slipped and the lipstick in her hand fell to the ground. Chen Xian silently admired her as she picked up the lipstick, thinking to himself that her figure wasn't bad compared to his master's. The girl suddenly turned around and saw Chen Xian leering at her with a strange gesture in his hand. She immediately screamed, calling Chen Xian a pervert. I'm going to rip your eyes out and feed them to the dogs. Chen Xian, covered in cold sweat, insisted that she had misunderstood him. She looked to her grandpa and reported Chen Xian's actions to him. However, the grandpa said that Chen Xian had done nothing wrong and even smiled at Chen Xian, explaining, don't mind her, little brother. She's not a bad girl. She's just a bit noisy. You are still a student. Are you going to Dongling University? Chen Xian replied yes, but he noticed that the grandpa's face was purple and his pupils were dilated, indicating that he had been suffering from an illness for a long time. Suddenly, the grandpa clutched his chest and fell to the ground. His granddaughter rushed to help him, but Chen Xian grabbed her hand and said, don't touch him yet. Look at the symptoms. He's suffering from blocked meridians. If someone moves him, he may go into shock or die on the spot. The girl angrily shook off Chen Xian's hand, saying, you're talking nonsense. My grandfather has always been strong. How could he die? Cabin attendant, tell him to get out of my way. A group of cabin attendants came to Chen Xian, intending to pull him away. At this point, the grandpa was already coughing up blood, and if the situation continued, he would die. Chen Xian shouted, get out of the way. Chen Xian waved his hand, and a circle of fire surrounded him. He pointed at the grandpa's throat with a few fire needles, and then directed them towards his chest. The powerful airflow made it difficult for the surrounding people to keep their eyes open. After removing the needles, Chen Xian told the granddaughter, he'll be fine in a minute. I'm at the station. Bye. With that, Chen Xian waved his hand and left. The grandpa woke up after a while, looking at himself in disbelief. I've been suffering from this disease for more than 10 years, but now I've not only been cured, also, I've even broken through the realm. Was that the boy who saved me just now? Where is he? The granddaughter, wiping away tears, said, that bastard messed around with your body, saw you die, and got out of here. The grandpa shouted, Schwanger, go and tell the whole Jiang family. Even if you search the entire Dongling area, find him. The granddaughter immediately said maliciously, Yes, Grandpa. That guy dared to mess around with you. I will find him and torture him. However, to her surprise, the grandpa said, my Jiang family will do whatever it takes to make friends with him. Qinshan learned about Master Gao's birthday celebration and brought a bag of life-extending spiritual tea as a gift. Unexpectedly, the surrounding well-dressed guests all laughed at him. Others had brought gifts worth millions, and this country bumpkin only brought half a pound of tea. Gao Nao, his fiancée, looked disdainful, wondering where such a poor person had come from and feeling unlucky to see such a person at the birthday party. Master Gao stroked his beard. Since you are a disciple of Dr. Lin, you can find a place to sit. Remember, these are all big shots in dangling. Don't offend, understand? Qinshan replied, I came to the Gao family today for one more thing. Master Gao did not forget about the marriage contract. Master Gao said, it was true in the beginning, but after all these years, the Gao family is not the same as it used to be. Master Gao's granddaughter gave Qinshan a check for $100,000. As a famous wealthy beauty in dangling, Gao Nao didn't even want to look at Qinshan, her fiancé. You just want to blackmail money, right? Disgusting country bumpkin. Don't even take a look at yourself. She threw the check with a disgusted face and asked Qinshan to pick it up, then told him to get lost. The guests were also opportunistic, and all kinds of malicious words came out for free. Why don't you pick it up? What are you pretending for? Have you ever seen so much money? Just saying a few words can make 100,000. Take advantage of it and get lost quickly. At this moment, Qinshan was completely disappointed with the Gao family. He put his hands in his pockets and lifted his heels. With a strong step, the whole birthday banquet scene seemed to have experienced an earthquake. Everyone's eyes were filled with horrified gazes. A mere 100,000 in this damn marriage contract. Young Master Qinshan doesn't care, and you, Gao family, are ungrateful, arrogant, and undeserving of your position. It's just as well that this birthday banquet isn't held. As the words fell, Qinshan casually threw the check out. It whizzed past the old man's ear, and the wall behind him exploded with a bang. The golden birthday character was also smashed to pieces. At this moment, Master Gao didn't care about Qinshan's identity. He wanted to break this damn kid's legs and feed him to the dogs. Just as countless black-clothed bodyguards surrounded Qinshan, a voice attracted everyone's attention. Gao's house is really impressive. An old and a young appeared at the birthday banquet scene. It was the head of the largest Jiang family in Dongling, Jiang Xiaotang, and his granddaughter, Jiang Wushuang. Shuanger, is this the young man you are looking for? Yes, Grandpa, it's him. We must help him avenge his humiliation. Jiang Wushuang stared with her big eyes. Breaking off the engagement first and bullying others with your power. Gao family, you are finished. Jiang Lao's sudden appearance made Master Gao break out in a cold sweat. This big shot was not someone he could mess with. However, to everyone's surprise, Jiang Lao didn't even look at today's protagonist, Master Gao, and went straight to Qinshan, bowing slightly in salute. I am Jiang Xiaotang. Thank you, young hero, for saving my life. I hope you can forgive me for being late. The father and son of the Gao family were stunned. This poor boy actually made Dongling's big shot Jiang Lao salute him. How is this possible? And what was even more incredible was yet to come. Jiang Xiaotang glanced at his granddaughter and then, considering the matter of breaking off the engagement just now, he decided to help Qinshan slap the Gao family's face hard. So, in front of everyone, he said, since you have broken off the engagement with the Gao family, why not consider our Wushuang? My Jiang family is willing to offer $100 million as a bride price. If that's not enough, you can ask for more. As soon as these words came out, the people around them quieted down because they had been scared silly. The Jiang family had only one daughter, and these words were clearly intended to appoint Qinshan as the next head of the family. The old and young Gao family members didn't even dare to breathe, their faces blacker than withered eggplants. Only Jiang Wushuang and Qinshan, the two young people, blushed. Love had come so quickly. Qinshan was a little embarrassed. Old master, you are too enthusiastic. Let me think about it. Think about it, my sister. Where am I not good enough for you? Jiang Xiaotang's old face was full of smiles, and he said very warmly, it's good that you're considering it. Young hero, this place is bad luck. Why don't we leave together? As they passed by Master Gao, Qinshan suddenly said, my master has worked hard to save you. You should have lived long enough. You've been suffering from vague pains in the Violet Palace and Swollen Center, haven't you? Enjoy the rest of your life. Master Gao was frightened and broke out in a cold sweat. How did he know my symptoms? Did I really mess with someone I shouldn't have? On the other side, Qinshan and the Jiang families old and young were talking very happily. To thank him for saving himself, Jiang Xiaotang gave him a set of real estate and car keys. Young hero, you just arrived in Dongling and don't have a place to stay yet. If you don't mind, you can rest here. Qinshan remembered his master's teachings that punishing evil and promoting good is the duty of a martial artist, so he politely refused the offer. What I want, I will only fight for with my own hands. Thank you for your kindness, old master. Seeing Qinshan refuse, Jiang Wushuang seemed very surprised. A $60 million riverside villa plus an $8 million Lamborghini, almost $100 million in total, and you don't want it? The old master also sighed. I'm sorry, it was my mistake. I insulted a noble person like the young hero with these vulgar things. For the sake of his character, he missed $1 billion. Qinshan burst into tears on the spot. He didn't hear anything the old man said afterward, but the old man gave Qinshan a hotel room card. Dr. Chen, I heard that you are new to Dongling. I have prepared a presidential suite at the Paradise Hotel. This is the Hotel Paradise card with the highest authority. All spending is free of charge. How about using it as a temporary base for Dr. Chen? Chen Xian gladly accepted the room card. He went to the hotel to look for his room. Chen Xian's room number was 666. When Chen Xian arrived at room 666, he found the door was open. Chen Xian pushed the door open and saw a young girl wrapped in a towel. The young girl blushed. "How dare you break into my room? Rascal, who the hell are you? Get out, or I'll call the police." Chen Xian looked helpless. He realized he had held his room card upside down. Chen Xian's actual room number was 999. Then Chen Xian was chased out by the young girl. Chen Xian arrived at his room 999. He found the room to be very luxurious. Chen Xian sat down and began to practice his skills. He practiced until late at night. When Chen Xian was too hungry to bear, he stopped practicing. Suddenly, he remembered Jiang Yitong said that if I take this card, I will get everything for free. So Chen Xian went to a high-end restaurant and said to the waiter, "Hey man, get me fried rice with egg." The waiter regretfully informed him that they didn't have that dish. The people around were shocked. Egg fried rice at a 5-star hotel? Is this guy out of his mind? Look at him. He's probably a newcomer to the city. That's a county boy. Then Chen Xian took out the card Jiang had given him. The waiter saw it and was stunned. "Oh shit, the emperor's card? Sir, wait, I'll arrange for the chef to cook." The people around were also stunned. Among them, there are two acquaintances. This is not his ex-fiancée Gao Nao and her bootlicker, is it? What's this person's name again? The two also noticed Chen Xian. They were curious that he actually came to this high-end hotel. Next to them, there is a chubby-faced the son of the Wu family, Wu Tian. Wu Tian swirled the red wine in his glass and said, Hey, it's just a dirtbag, so why get so angry? I'll help you guys out someday. Right now, I have other important things to do. It's the first time I've seen such a beautiful girl in Dongling, except for Qin Sui." The fat man approached the beauty. "Hello, I'm Wu Tian, the young master of the Wu group. Can I buy you a drink?" Everyone present expressed that they couldn't afford to offend this fat man. The girl was very resistant. "I don't want to bother Mr. Wu. I'm not strong enough to drink." The fat man leaned in lewdly towards the girl. Chen Xian couldn't stand it any longer. He picked up Chen Xian's egg fried rice and walked towards them. Chen Xian slammed the egg fried rice onto the table. "Hey, damn fatty, stay away from my girlfriend." The fat man slammed the table angrily. "What the fuck did you say, you fucking hillbilly?" The despicable couple was just watching the show. Chen Xian immediately released his secret weapon. He let out a pound of fart. The stench made everyone cover their noses. Chen Xian was about to leave with the beautiful girl in his arms, but they were blocked by the despicable couple. The fat man was still threatening Chen Xian on the side. Chen Xian directly struck him in the abdomen with one palm. Then his bodyguard rushed up. Chen Xian quickly took down the bodyguard with just a few moves. The impressive performance made Weier's heart race. At this time, the disheveled fat man called for backup. Soon, the famous members of the Dongling Little Knife Gang appeared in the hotel. Weier said she wanted to help Chen Xian. Little did she know that Chen Xian didn't take these small fries seriously. "Go to your room. It's a man's business now." Chen Xian shouted domineeringly at everyone. "Looks like I think we can have a good time today. Is everyone ready?" In the midst of the fat man's arrogant roar, the members of the Little Knife Gang rushed forward. Yet Chen Xian didn't back down at all. He slammed an enemy's head into the ground. Seeing this, everyone hesitated to move forward. The fat man shouted, "What the hell are you doing? Go! Take this hillbilly down. I'll give you $1 million." The members of the Little Knife Gang launched another round of attacks. I opened my palm and said, "Let's take a look at the acupuncture taught by my teacher. You can't resist it." In a split second, Chen Xian slapped the ground. Countless silver needles shot out like a torrential rain. All members of the Little Knife Gang were instantly killed. His figure leaped out of the crowd and arrived in front of Wu Tian. "Next, it's your turn." Countless silver needles were manipulated by Chen Xian to pierce into Wu Tian's body. At the same time as nailing him to the wall, Chen Xian added a leg-breaking move. "Breaking your limbs and meridians is your punishment for insulting my family. Don't mention my family again, or you won't have the option to go to the hospital anymore." Just as Chen Xian was about to leave, a pair of delicate hands patted Chen Xian's shoulder. Chen Xian turned his head to see. It was Weier. Weier said, "Wow, you can fight so well." Thinking to herself, this young man has a strong iron-blooded spirit in his bones. He's a tough guy and he's not afraid of power. He is a worthy friend. Chen Xian immediately pinned her against the wall. "No, I'm not just good at fighting. I'm also good with women. How about it? You want me to be yours?" She immediately asked for Chen Xian's phone number, but Chen Xian said he didn't have a phone. She then generously took Chen Xian to a mobile phone store and bought him the latest phone. Chen Xian arrived at 9th Mistress's villa. After taking a shower, Chen Xian came out, feeling a bit tired. So much happened on the first day in the city. Big cities are indeed complicated. As he turned his head, he found 9th Mistress lying on the sofa. Apparently, she had fallen asleep from exhaustion. Chen Xian glanced at the computer nerd. Her men had been kidnapped, and she still had to deal with work when she got back at night. Mistress was really working too hard. Chen Xian helped cover his master with a blanket. He secretly made up his mind, determined to practice hard and protect her. However, while his master was asleep, she suddenly turned over and their lips accidentally touched. Chen Xian was shocked, and his dragon god kung fu started to circulate within his body. Could it be that kissing his master was the key to breaking through? As he stood there dumbfounded, his master slowly opened her her eyes. This startled Qianxian, and he quickly backed away, saying, "Master, it's not like that. I was practicing martial arts." In the chaos, his towel slipped off. Fortunately, Qianxian quickly picked it up and said with an earnest face, "My kung fu is the great way of heaven and earth. I've disturbed the ninth master. I need to be unhindered late at night in order to absorb the righteous energy. Moreover, a man hides his heart. I'm not going to blame you." He then turned around and let his master's wife rest while he went back to practice. His master's wife watched him, dumbfounded, and thought, "This kid, how can he be so serious and talk nonsense?" She then touched the blanket and her expression softened. He has really grown up. Because of the accidental kiss, Qianxian couldn't sleep all night, wondering whether kissing his master's wife would help him break through in his Dragon God Kung Fu. He kept debating whether to kiss her or not until the next morning. Jiang Wushuang, who came to invite Qianxian to go shopping, was curious. "What are you mumbling about? You don't understand. This is a matter that touches the moral bottom line." Qianxian then asked Wushuang, "What are we going to do?" "My grandfather asked me to spend more time with you." Although this was the case, Jiang Wushuang pouted and seemed unhappy. Even though her grandfather wanted to bring the two together, Qianxian was completely clueless and didn't understand her intentions. At this moment, the chubby guy next to him hugged Qianxian's shoulder. "Bro, you're awesome. I heard you took down that short winter melon from the Wu family. Admiring your courage, I, Han Chong, am determined to be your friend." The three of them arrived at an antique street. Qianxian, who was originally absent-minded, noticed a sign nearby. He immediately became excited. People in the city are really rich. A kilogram of stone costs 1,000 yuan. Of course, this is the largest gambling stone market in Dongling. Many people have become rich overnight here. Seeing the crazy behavior of the people around, Han Chong encouraged Qianxian to give it a try. Play a bit. He would pay the bill. Qianxian didn't go to check the stalls. He just felt a similar power and aura from the garbage pile behind him. So he decisively walked up to it and started digging in the garbage pile. "Bro, did you find anything good?" People around began to laugh. "What's this guy doing digging in a waste pile? Is he a beggar? Does he think he can find something valuable in the trash?" Jiang Wushuang felt somewhat embarrassed and hurriedly asked Qianxian to stop. But Han Chong became more excited. He liked such unconventional people. Soon, Qianxian held a dark stone with an excited expression. "It's you." He asked how much it would cost to cut it open. "Little brother, this is waste material. It's free." "No way," my master said. "You must pay for things you buy." "Fine, 1,000 yuan then." Qianxian slapped the stone on the table. "1,000 it is." "Deal." Now everyone laughed even harder. Spending 1,000 yuan on a piece of trash. This guy is a real talent. Did he get kicked in the head by a donkey? And with the first cut, it was indeed as everyone thought. There was no green in the waste material, only stone. Jiang Wushuang helplessly covered her head. Going out with him is really embarrassing. "Don't worry, Wushuang's sister. There's still one more cut." The worker made the second cut again. Just like last time, there was no trace of jade in the stone. Facing the ridicule of the people around, Qianxian's expression became serious instead. He felt something inside the stone. Dragon God Kung Fu started working as well. This can't be wrong. With this thought, he simply took matters into his own hands and struck the stone. As a bright green light appeared, everyone was shocked. "It's green! It's green! It's actually ice jade. How could this waste produce green? How is that possible?" Qianxian pinched his chin and thought. It seems that his skills have a connection with the jade. He reached out and absorbed the power within the stone. Just as he was contemplating whether to acquire more jade, countless crazy buyers had already rushed over. "Little brother, 1 million. Give me this stone. 2 million. I'll pay 3 million. Qianxian's eyes lit up. "I'm going to be rich. This broken stone is too valuable." In the end, it was Han Chong who bought the stone. As the three were chatting, Qianxian noticed someone nearby. He saw Lu Rufeng, the bootlicker of his master's wife, walking by with two beauties. Seeing the trio head into the alley, curious, he followed them. Through the window, he saw some scenes that required payment. This scared the girl in the car to scream. "There's a pervert outside the window." Qianxian was puzzled. "Where's the pervert? I didn't see it." Just as he was looking for someone, Han Chong ran over. "Chen, it's not good. Sister Wu Shuang was kidnapped by the Little Knife Gang. They said if you don't go, they'll tear up the ticket." Qianxian's gaze turned cold. He can't stand the fact that he caused a girl to be kidnapped. On the other hand, the kidnapped Jiang Wushuang was thrown on the ground by the Little Knife Gang's fourth-ranked member, Zhao Kuei. Looking at the girl's curvaceous body, Zhao Kuei reached out with a lewd face. Such a beautiful girl used as bait. It's such a waste. Jiang Wushuang showed no weakness. "If you dare touch me, I'll skin you alive." Unexpectedly, Zhao Kuei was also ruthless. Dying under the peony flower is romantic, even as a ghost. In the time it took to pick up an umbrella, the door behind him was suddenly kicked open. Qianxian wiped the blood from his fist, sneered and said, "I heard you were looking for me. I'm here." Jiang Wushuang was very surprised. Zhao Kuei is a martial artist. Qianxian definitely can't beat him. Why would he come and seek death? She shouted for Qianxian to leave quickly. A hint of ferocity flashed across Zhao Kuei's face, wanting to leave, but it's already too late. He threw a punch, but didn't expect that Qianxian would easily dodge it. "I've never seen a martial artist before, so this is the result." "Ah!" Qianxian casually grabbed and directly caught Zhao Kuei's arm. Applying gentle force, the other party screamed like a pig being slaughtered. At this time, Han Chong rushed over to help Jiang Wushuang untie her bindings. She was still worried about Qianxian's situation. that Zhao Kuei is good at using double knives. If he uses his full strength, Chen Xian would be in danger. But in the next second, Chen Xian blocked Zhao Kuei's full-force strike with his arm. He turned and delivered a whip kick, instantly defeating his opponent. Looking at the blood-spitting Zhao Kuei, Jiang Wushuang was astonished. "What kind of strength do you have, kid? You're so good at fighting." Chen Xian walked over to her and gently asked, "Miss Jiang, are you injured?" As Jiang Wushuang's face turned red, she suddenly felt herself being lifted by someone. Chen Xian solemnly apologized to her. "If it wasn't for me, you wouldn't have been kidnapped by the bad guys. I'm sorry. I'll personally settle the score with them." The sudden display made Jiang Wushuang feel a little moved. This kid, he's quite handsome when he's serious. Are you sure you can handle them? The Little Knife Gang is the largest force in Dongling. Their boss, Yan Yilpeng, is known as the #1 ruthless person in Dongling. Chen Xian told Jiang Wushuang not to worry. The title of the #1 ruthless person will soon change hands. The scene changes. Yan Yilpeng is acting carefree in his territory. He thought that by sending Zhao Kuei, he could easily take down Chen Xian. Who would have thought that the next second, a bloodied subordinate would run in. Just as he finished saying someone was causing trouble, Chen Xian suddenly appeared from behind the door. His gaze was steady, and he was holding a person in his hand. He leisurely walked into the room. "You are the boss of the Little Knife Gang, Yan Yilpeng." Chen Xian raised his eyebrows and asked disdainfully. Seeing the Zhao Kuei in his hand, Yan Yilpeng's subordinates were all shocked. One of the top 3 masters, Zhao Kuei, unexpectedly lost to a young novice. The other 2 masters couldn't stand it. They picked up their weapons and rushed towards Chen Xian. However, no matter how many small fries there were, they were still small fries. Chen Xian snatched the knife with a backhand. With a light wave, only Yang Yilpeng, who was clapping and cheering, was left standing in the room. "Great skills. If you submit to me, I might consider sparing your dog's life. You and your bunch of useless subordinates. Do you think you're worthy of making me submit?" Yang Yilpeng snorted coldly, to refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. He ordered his subordinates to bring weapons. Bursting with the strongest aura, he intended to kill Chen Xian with a single blow. However, nobody expected the full-strength blow of Dongling's #1 ruthless person was actually blocked by Chen Xian's palm. "To kill me with one blow, you're boasting a bit too much." Huh? Chen Xian grabbed his machete, raised a foot, and kicked Yang Yilpeng away. "Dongling's #1 ruthless person. Ha! Now your life belongs to me." Looking at Chen Xian with his hands in his pockets, emitting a strong oppressive aura, Yang Yilpeng used his last strength to stand up. Then, unexpectedly, he knelt down in front of Chen Xian with a thud. "Please spare me, Master Chen. From now on, I will follow your lead." After dealing with the boss of the Xiao Dao gang, Chen Xian walked out of the room, completely unaware of the pair of long legs hiding behind the door. As Chen Xian approached, the owner of the long legs suddenly appeared, crossed her arms, and enthusiastically shouted, "Hey, little brother, don't go. Can we chat?" The woman introduced herself as Wei-er, who was originally looking to hire some bodyguards from the Xiao Dao gang. However, Chen Xian had knocked everyone inside out, so she needed him to be her bodyguard and accompany her for the night. Chen Xian looked surprised and hurriedly said he was a decent person and suggested she find someone else. However, Wei-er followed him, jogging and raising the price as she went, finally reaching 1.5 million yuan. Thinking of his master exhausted and sleeping on the couch, Chen Xian decided to help her relieve some stress and turned around, shouting, "Deal." Unexpectedly, Wei-er pulled him into a shopping mall, casually picked a $50,000 suit, and said that although he was only accompanying her for one night, he shouldn't look too cheap. She told him to try it on. Chen Xian glanced at the price tag and was shocked. The outfit was 50,000 yuan, which was really expensive. Wei-er pushed him into the fitting room, saying she would cover all his expenses and told him to enjoy himself. The feeling made Chen Xian a little tempted. He never thought enjoyment could be so good. With that in mind, he thought he could accompany her for a few more nights. While changing clothes, Wei-er suddenly pulled back the curtain. Chen Xian didn't have time to scream before she covered his mouth, saying someone was looking for her outside and asked him to get her some women's clothing to disguise herself. Then she pushed Chen Xian out. It turned out that the Xiao family had arranged for 2 bodyguards to find her. To avoid being caught and taken back, Wei-er had no choice but to hide in Chen Xian's fitting room. Unexpectedly, the young man brought her a camisole and a maid outfit. Wei-er rolled her eyes, saying, "Your straight male aesthetics are truly terrifying." Still, she blushed and asked him to turn around as she lifted her outerwear to change. In the cramped space, Chen Xian stood in the corner, hardly daring to breathe. When Wei-er finished changing into the maid outfit, Chen Xian heard footsteps outside and said, "They seem to be coming." In a hurry, Wei-er pushed Chen Xian against the wall, and her whole body pressed against him. Chen Xian was scared and said, "What are you trying to do? I sell my skills, not my body. Don't talk." A pair of cherry-flavored lips slowly approached. When the bodyguards pulled back the curtain, they only saw Chen Xian getting intimate with a maid and quickly apologized and left. After confirming the 2 had left, Wei-er revealed a triumphant smile, not caring about Chen Xian's swollen lips from the kiss. In front of him, she threw the maid outfit down and said, "We agreed you'd just be a bodyguard, but now with this situation, I will pay more." Alright, but let's wait until you finish your work." Wei-er tidied her clothes while asking Chen Xian to accompany her to a secret place. Upon hearing this, Chen Xian's nosebleed immediately started flowing, as this girl clearly had ulterior ulterior motives. She offered to pay Qinshan 1.5 million for one night to protect her while attending an important event. After a series of embarrassing episodes, Qinshan changed his clothes and arrived with Wei Er at the Liu family's private auction house. He looked at the sign at the entrance and felt a little awkward. Such a name for an auction house made him get excited for nothing. Wei Er, however, smiled and pulled him inside, hugging Qinshan's arm tightly, making him behave, or else there would be no payment. The two of them soon attracted the attention of the guests, and Green Tea's agitation became unbearable as this damn country bumpkin managed to get close to the Xiao family once again. Ninth sister was also attracted by the commotion, and upon turning her head, she noticed that this person looked like Qinshan. There was no doubt it was him. Ninth sister became a little unhappy as her obedient disciple was now involved with the Xiao family, and she had to confront them. At the same time, Jiang Wushuang and Han Chong, brother and sister, also saw the hand-in-hand couple. At that moment, a passerby greeted them, and Wei Er casually announced that her family didn't need to arrange a blind date for her anymore, as this was her boyfriend Qinshan, who had just returned from overseas. Qinshan felt a little embarrassed by her words, but then Gao Nao suddenly appeared, angrily saying, "What overseas return? He's just a poor kid from the countryside who was shamelessly asking for my hand in marriage a few days ago." Wei Er stared at Gao Nao with an unfriendly look. "Watch your mouth and don't insult my boyfriend." As a result, Gao Nao's followers started making a fuss, and the surrounding guests began to doubt Qinshan's identity. "Sister Shi, it seems like Qinshan is in trouble. Shouldn't we help him?" Ninth sister hugged her arms and didn't respond, seemingly a little jealous. Instead, Jiang Wushuang and her companion pushed through the crowd and asked, "He's a liar? What about you guys?" Then they scolded Gao Nao. "You Gao family are really bold, daring to insult my Jiang family's son-in-law." Such a shocking revelation made the guests go crazy. The Jiang family's son-in-law? Both of the young ladies from the two families have taken a liking to this guy? This is too unbelievable. Wei Er leaned into Qinshan's arms and gave Jiang Wushuang a glance. "Miss, you must be mistaken. Qinshan is my boyfriend. You're the one who's mistaken." Just as the two girls were arguing, Wei Er also shouted, "You both say this guy is your man, but I say he's my man too." Seeing the unhappy look on Ninth sister's face, Qinshan immediately realized his mistake and obediently followed her. "Follow me. I'll deal with you properly tonight." Such words obviously led to an even greater misunderstanding. Jiang Wushuang, unable to bear it, directly grabbed Qinshan's arm. "Take a good look. This is the proof that I am a son-in-law of the Jiang family." After saying that, regardless of the surprised gazes of the crowd, she kissed Qinshan's cheek. "How dare you kiss me in public? That's too much," Qinshan said discontentedly. "What's the big deal? There will be even more outrageous things in the future." Wei Er showed a cunning smile on the side and pinched Qinshan's waist. "I didn't expect you to have such a flourishing love life, but if you dare to mess around, don't expect to get a cent tonight." Poor Qinshan was surrounded by the girls. It was Ninth sister who reached out her hand and said forcefully, "What's with all this pulling and tugging? Hurry up and follow me home." The guests' gazes were completely stunned. This guy not only had rumors with two beauties, but even the #1 beauty of Dongling had also been won over. Moreover, according to their conversation, the two were even living together. The crowd changed their previous contempt and shouted praises for Qinshan. However, Qinshan felt the pressure increasing. "Qinshan, explain yourself. Who are you going with tonight?" Facing the three beauties, he scratched his head, very embarrassed. "Only children make choices. Can I have them all?" Such scumbag remarks made Ninth sister even angrier, and she was the first to turn around and walk out. Qinshan was extremely flustered, but Wei Er was still teasing on the side. "Who is she? You care so much? She's my ninth sister." Qinshan hurriedly caught up with his sister's pace, just about to explain when the sycophant Liu Ruffing suddenly appeared. A few kind words made the furious ninth sister follow him into a private room. He put a sleeping pill in the wine with his ring and handed over the glass of red wine. "She, don't just watch, have a drink and relax." Both of their gazes sharpened at once. This shameless bastard. Qinshan pulled open the door, snatched the wine glass, and smashed it on Liu Ruffing. "Sister, don't drink. There's a sleeping pill in the wine." Liu Ruffing naturally refused to admit it, and what made Qinshan uncomfortable was ninth sister's attitude. "Qinshan, what are you doing? Young Master Liu has done me a great favor. He's just inviting me for a drink. What could be the problem?" Liu Ruffing saw that Qin Shi was helping him and immediately became more aggressive. "Boss Qin, control your subordinate. We'll talk about the cooperation later." After that, he left with his secretary. Ninth sister became even angrier. "Didn't I tell you? He's very important to my career. Why do you have to target him like this?" Qinshan tried to explain, but ninth sister didn't listen and left angrily. "Brother Chen, what should we do? I just saw his face. I think he also drank the sleeping pill, and it's probably taking effect now." Han Chong nodded knowingly and sneakily followed. At this moment, Liu Ruffin was furious in the restroom. "I finally got a good opportunity, and it was ruined by that bastard." He had a surge of anger inside him that he couldn't vent, so he turned his attention to his secretary. The girl cried and didn't dare to resist, but he didn't expect that everything he said had been recorded by Han Chong. After a while, Liu Ruffin recovered and went to the stage to host the auction. Han Chong excitedly ran over. "Brother Chen, I got it on tape. Let's wait and watch the drama unfold later." Liu Ruffin was confidently speaking on stage, looking at the audience applauding and cheering below, and he felt extremely inflated. Did you see that? Qin Shi, I, Lu Ruffing, am the pride of the heavens, and you will eventually become my plaything. He asked everyone to be quiet as he was about to show pictures of the latest products from the Lu's Commerce Association. To his surprise, the screen displayed an embarrassing image of himself in the bathroom. The atmosphere in the room became eerily quiet, with only the sound of Lu Ruffing cursing in the video. I finally managed to drug that despicable woman, only to be foiled by that bastard. I must kill him. The reporters saw the scene and exclaimed, "Wow, big news." They immediately raised their cameras. Only then did Lady Ninth realize that she had just experienced a crisis. The entire video played out, lasting a total of 10 seconds. The audience could no longer suppress their disdain and burst into laughter. This guy surnamed Lu is so useless. It's hilarious. Lu Rufing's face turned completely black, and he yelled for his men to turn off the screen. Jiang Wushuang and Wei'er were curious. Did you secretly do something? Chen Xian, of course, wouldn't admit it, and simply said that Lu Ruffing deserved it. At this moment, Lady Ninth came to his side. Chen Xian, let's go home.